today with a fun project. Jessica from I'm a Cool Mom issued a challenge to create a junk journal with only items from the Dollar Tree or the dollar store. Now, I don't have a Dollar Tree, so I went to the buck or two, which meant that unfortunately things were not a buck or not a dollar. I don't know what's up with my town, but the dollar store had things that were more than that. So the challenge was to try to spend $15, but everything was $1.25 to $1.75, and there was nothing $1. So I kind of, hopefully this isn't cheating. What I did was I picked out 15 items and tried to keep them under $2 each. And that's how I'm going to put my junk journal together. And I thought I would bring you guys along for the process of how I put it together. But first, I'll show you guys the 15 supplies that I picked out for my junk journal. To be honest, I was kind of disappointed by what I found at the Dollar Tree or the buck or two store. I really wanted some things and I couldn't find them, so I kind of had to figure it out. So anyways, but I'll show you guys what I grabbed. So I found these price label swing tags. There's 46 in here. I don't think I'll use them all, but they're little tags, and I thought I could use that. I also had a really difficult time at the store finding any like thread or ribbon or anything like that. And I did notice that these tags have string on them, so I'm not sure, but I'm wondering if I might be able to try to repurpose that a little bit. So I have those tags. I also grabbed some envelopes. So these are just craft envelopes. I really wanted the closure type ones, but they didn't have those. They just had these. So I was like, make it work. So there are, I don't know how many are in here. Oh, 6. Duh. There's 6 envelopes in here, so I thought I could use those throughout. I also grabbed these, which are little luxury place cards. And I think they're for like a wedding idea, but I thought I could use them for cards or for some paper. And the reason I picked these ones is because they had these like hearts indented on the side, which I thought was really pretty. And I thought I could tea dye these or coffee dye these, or stamp them, or I don't know, do something fun with them to kind of take them up a notch, and the hearts would be really pretty. I really wanted to find like some notebooks or books with paper in them, so that I could have paper for my book, but I couldn't find any like sheets of paper. I don't know, like packages of lined paper or white paper. I couldn't find anything like that. So instead I grabbed these things, and that'll be kind of how I make up the book pages. So I grabbed this package of card and envelope sets. So there's 6 cards and 6 envelopes in there. And I thought I could use those kind of for book pages. And then I was able to find these 2 things at the buck or two. This one is a set of, like, it's like stack pads, it's called. It's like a 6x6 paper pad. And it's just really thin, single-sided, like scrapbook paper, and it's got gold foil on it, which I picked it because I really like the gold foil. And I thought that I could use these for pages in my book, so I picked out those. And then I also grabbed this, which is a set of 3 pieces of paper, and it's got this burgundy color, this like brownish color, and then this cream color. And it is scrapbook paper, but I thought I could cut it in half. And it was only like, I think $1.25 from the buck or two. So I thought I could get a bunch of pages out of that. Okay. And then I was kind of just looking around for other things. One of the things I really wanted to get, because you guys know me, is I really wanted to find doilies, but I couldn't find doilies anywhere in the store, which was so sad because I really wanted to include them. But instead, I found these, and I thought maybe this is kind of similar-ish. These are cupcake liners, so they are circle, and I thought I could kind of like flatten them out and include those throughout the album. They were kind of cute, so I thought they're kind of like a doily, except for they don't have the holes, but that kind of idea, and I thought that would add some nice texture to the album. And they came with these little cupcake pins with leaves on them, and I thought I could use those for embellishments or something like that. So obviously, as you can tell, I'm going with like a fall Thanksgiving theme. I thought I would make like a little thankful album and just like a junk journal where I could write all the things I'm thankful for. So that's that. I also grabbed, I was just kind of looking for different textures and things that I thought would be fun to include in the album. So they had these burlap sheets. They're 3 pieces of burlap. And I just thought that that would be kind of a fun texture to include in the album. And they're pretty sturdy, so you could turn them into pages or cut them up and make embellishments out of them. And there's 3 sheets of that. And this kind of screams fall and Thanksgiving to me too for some reason. So I thought that would be a nice addition. And then I was looking for fabric, but I couldn't find any fabric in the store. So my solution for fabric were these things. I grabbed out napkins, and they both have like a fall kind of design on them and kind of match the color tones that I was going for. Plus I thought maybe you could cut out some of these items and use them for embellishments. I don't really know how I'm going to use this. I have no idea at all how I'll use these, but I grabbed out those 2 napkins, and I was able to find a piece of felt in this burgundy color, and like honestly I don't think it's big enough, but I'm gonna make it work somehow. And I wasn't able to find any ribbon either, so I was like, maybe I can make my own kind of pieces of ribbon out of felt. I'm not really sure how I'll use that, but I did grab that. And then while I was looking around the store for items to use within the junk journal, I found these favor bags. Again, I think they're supposed to be for like weddings or something, I don't know. But there's 4 of these like little fabric bags. And I thought they would be kind of cute for pockets or something like that. And I did notice that there's like a piece of ribbon on them. So I thought maybe I could cut the ribbon out of one of them. I'm not sure. Anyway, so that's those. And then I have 3 more items that were part of my 15 items. Just so that I would have some things to decorate with. I grabbed these sheet of cork stickers, which I just really like the pattern on them, and I thought that they could be used for the cover or inside, and maybe I can make one into like a little tuck spot or something. I grabbed these maple leaf confetti pieces that are in all the colors of fall, and I thought I could use those to decorate the album. I could use them on the cover. If I want to make a tassel or something, I could make it with this. That's kind of what I was thinking. It would look cute. So that's that. And then the last thing I grabbed, which I'm not really sure how I'm going to use this, but I just thought it was so pretty and I thought it would look really cute, are these window stickers. And they are like a clear plasticky piece. And I thought they would look pretty on the cover. You could add them in the book. You could use them for embellishments, or like if you like stitched it down, it could be like kind of like a pocket or something. I don't know. I thought it would be fun. And there's a whole bunch of different designs here, which would be really cute. And then this backing it's on is like a cardstock almost, and so I wondered if maybe after I pull off all of these leaves, I could even use this cardstock in the book. I don't know. So anyways, that's 15 items. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So those are my 15 Dollar Tree or dollar store buck or two items. And then I needed a book to bind it all into, and there were no books at all in the whole entire store except for like really flimsy notebooks, and I didn't want to use one of those. But when I was looking in one aisle that had all the wedding stuff, I did find this guest book. And it's just a white guest book, but it's got a pretty sturdy cover. And it does have paper in it too, which I can definitely use. And I thought maybe I could turn this book into the junk journal. And the spine is really small. It's only about, so sorry about that. The video got cut off and I didn't realize it. But what I was trying to say is that the spine was only 1 inch wide. So it's not big enough for a couple of signatures, maybe just one. And I want to have at least 2 signatures in there. So I did cut that off. And now I'm just left with the front and the back cover. And it does look kind of messy, but not to worry. I think I'm going to cover that up so it'll look nicer. So that is the front and the back. And then here is inside with the pages. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rip them out of this spine twirly thing. I don't know what it's called. And I am going to copy stain these pages as well as some of the other papers that I had. Like the envelopes and I'm going to try to copy stain these because I don't like the white color. I want it to be more dark. I might try and copy stain one of these envelopes and just see what happens. And I'm going to copy stain those and some of these tags. And then I'll come back and I'll show you what the next step for putting together the book is going to be. I probably won't use all of these pages, but I want to have them all ready so that if I do want to use a bunch of them, I can. And then another thing I think I've decided is when I bought the book, it's originally supposed to go landscape like this, but I think I kind of want to flip it around and I want the book to be up and down, so vertical. So I'm going to make a new spine that's going to go in the middle of there so that the book can go up and down like this. And then I will cover these top edges so that it looks a lot nicer. So I will go do that and I'll come back later and show you what happens. Okay, so I took apart my book and I've put it back together, creating a new spine that is 2.5 inches wide, which is awesome because I think I'll have enough space for 2 or even 3 signatures. So I added some paper and distressed the edges with some chalky ink. I know it doesn't look perfect, but I have some ideas for how I'm gonna finish it, and I think that will really help. So I've just used some of that paper that I got from the store for the front and the back covers, and then I distressed it. And I used some paper there, and then on the inside of the book I've added some paper where the spine is, and then I added that felt for the 2 covers. Now I need to find something to cover this up, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the signatures together, sew them in, and then add something, because the truth is when you fold the book you don't really see it, and I don't want to put anything there and then make it too difficult to put it together. So anyways, that is the book. It is the same book that is under here. I just kind of covered everything up and used some paper and stuff that I got from the dollar store, and then the distressing ink to kind of change it up. It looks completely different, which is kind of crazy. And I also did some tea dyeing and coffee dyeing and stuff. So I wanted to show you guys that before I keep going here. And one thing I wanted to say is I got some really unusual results. So I did coffee stain some, and those will be the like dark colored things that you can see, like this, coffee dyed. I decided that I wanted to try to make some yellow pages because I think it's kind of like fall, so I was thinking brown and yellow and red is kind of what I was gonna go for. So I grabbed some turmeric from my cupboard and added some water to it and then stained these ones yellow, which is really fun. It came up with this like really pretty distress look, and I got this really pretty yellow, and then I also have the coffee stain ones. Now I also wanted to do some red ones, so I decided to dye some pages with this red tea, and for some reason when it went into the oven it turned blue. Honestly, I don't know, it must be the type of tea or something, but it went from red to blue, which is so weird because if I show you the bag, where is it? Well, I can't find it right now, but the bag that I did, oh, here it is. The bag that I did still stayed red in some areas and then turned blue in others. So it's kind of funny, but anyway, so now I have like a red bag, a brown bag, and a yellow bag, and then that one has some blue in there. But I think it's still really pretty, and it kind of looks a little fall. And sometimes the leaves do turn a little purpley, so maybe it's okay. And I like the effect that it put on these pages, whether it's the blue ones or the yellow ones or the coffee ones. And I did burn up some of the pages purposely, but I think I've got some really fun pieces here that I think will look really cool inside my junk journal here. So my next step for this album is to finish up the cover. So before I get onto these papers and making the signatures, I want to finish up the cover, and I have this idea for the cover that I was thinking might add some really cool impact to it, or at least I'm hoping. I have these really pretty fall napkins, and I was kind of thinking I might decoupage them-ish on the covers, like rip them into pieces and decoupage them on there, and then I might add some embellishments to it. For example, those plastic window leaves would look really pretty too. So I'm gonna just play around with this, and then once that's done, I'll come back and show you what the cover looks like. Okay, so I finished the cover. I also worked on some other pages that I want to show you before I kind of put it all together, and then when the book is together, I'll show it to you again before I add embellishments and things like that. So I started by finishing the cover with those napkins, which I tore up and Mod Podged onto the background, and it created such a pretty fun, like, distress looking texture, which is really fun. I did that on all three sides, and then on the back I also added that one smaller napkin and I tore it up a little bit, which is really fun. It creates like a really cool, like, I don't know how to explain it, texture here. And then what I did was I took some of those window decals and added those too. So on the cover I added this large one along with one of the little cork pieces I got at the dollar store. And then on the spine I added a bunch of those window decals that I had cut up and kind of I wanted it to look kind of like the leaves are falling from the trees. So I Mod Podged those on there. And that's pretty much it for the cover. What I did do was I added a hole up here so that I could add a tassel, and I just added one of those little sequin leaves there too to kind of cover up the hole and make it just look a little more fun. And I did create a tassel. Now I didn't have a ton of things to create the tassel with, but what I decided to do is use some of the tags that I had coffee and tea and stained. And I also used a bunch of those sequins along with the strings that came on the tags to create this kind of fun leaf tag tassel. And my thinking is that I will stick it through this hole, and it can kind of hang off of the spine like that, which is kind of really fun. So I haven't added that yet because I wanted to finish binding the book, and I figured I would go back and add that later. So the cover is ready to go. It's not perfect, but I'm just trying to remember and remind myself that this is my very first junk journal, so if it's not perfect, it's okay. And I'm kind of going for a distress look, so if it looks distressy, that's okay too. So anyways, that's the cover, which I'm going to add all of my pages to. Okay, it's done. So I added some embellishments and things, and I want to just do one more walkthrough, and then I'll show you the supplies that I have left from all of the items that I got at the dollar store. So here's the cover. I just have it pretty simple with that window decal and the napkins in the background, and one of these little cork pieces so that I can add like gratitude log or something. On the spine, you'll notice that I added another piece of that cork there, and I thought that this way when it's up on the shelf I could have the title there too. And I love the way that the spine worked out, that you can see the napkins in the background, those window decals Mod Podged on there, and then this really cute tassel that I created using tags and sequins and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun. I feel like it's really like textured, which is really nice. And as you can see, I've got lots of things poking out the top, and on the side it's pretty chunky, and then on the bottom I have all of those strings from the sewing machine, which I really love. Actually, I love all of the, like, I like all of the chunkiness and how it just has so much texture in it. It's definitely very, very full, so I'll need to get some kind of closure or clasp that can go around it, but that is okay. I still think it's super cute. So I'll show you the things that I added while walking you through it. So in the front cover, I added this envelope that I had made with some, I think I used cumin to dye it. And then I had one of those window decals, which I just stitched onto the envelope, which is kind of fun so that you could kind of tuck things in there. So that's adhered there. On the front piece here, all I did was add a little sequin just for a little sparkle. I tried to add those window decals throughout, and really my goal was to use as many of the supplies as I possibly could, and to use up scraps and things for adding those embellishments and those details and stuff. One of the things that I had a lot of fun doing was cutting apart the cupcake liners, because they have those images on them, and I use those kind of like as ephemera or as embellishments for some of my pages. So on this clear acetate piece, I just glued one of the acorns that I cut out from the cupcake liner. Then I've got that napkin, and that napkin is a pocket, so I just have a tag tucked in there that I've created out of some paper and some of the leftover felt, and then that flips up. On this piece, I added one of those little cupcake push pin things. I just took off the pin part and just kept the topper. I've done that a lot throughout this because, again, those little toppers were perfect as embellishments. A little flip up here, some more sequin details. Added another sequin back there. I kind of just added the sequins all throughout just because I love them so much. And they're such a cute little detail that I feel like they work really well. So there's another little card that you could add journaling or something, or even a photo or something too, and it just tucks in there. I'm so glad I tea stained or dyed the papers. I just feel like it adds so much detail here, and it's not so stark white. So I didn't end up sticking anything in these pockets or embellishing this at all, but I feel like later when I'm going back to add my journaling, I'll tuck tags or something in there. It's fun. And then in this pocket here, I've got two different tags. So this first little pocket down here, I've got this tag that I've created by just cutting up a manila envelope and adding some stitching on it. I have a little piece of paper that's kind of like a tuck spot, and then I added one of those cupcake toppers there, and that just tucks into that pocket. And then in the bigger pocket back here, I've just added a tag that I've created out of some of the burlap and did some stitching on, and that just kind of tucks into that little fabric pocket. And there's so much space that I've left for journaling and things like that, which is really fun. Up here I have another one of those cupcake liners, and it's just poking out of the top just to add a little detail to the top of the album. And then in this envelope pocket that I created with one of the window decals, I just have another one of those tags. And this tag's kind of fun. You can open it up, add journaling like inside kind of thing. So that'll just go into that pocket. Next up, I have this flip out page that has lots of different flips and flaps and things like that, and I just added one of those big cork pieces here. And I thought you could add journaling or even a photo or something like right on top of that cork, which would be kind of cute. Oh, I love this detail that I added. So I hope you guys can see this on the camera, but what I did was I took one of the cupcake liners, I cut out the little edge part, and I kept it crinkled, and then I just glued that to the edge of the page just to kind of create a little border piece. I kind of feel like that's what you would do with like ribbon or lace or something like that, but since I didn't have ribbon or lace, I'm using my cupcake liners, which I love this effect. I think it just is super cute. Here I've just added a couple sequins, another one of those acorns that I cut out of the cupcake liner, the other side of that napkin, and then I've got my shaker pocket here with all of that really awesome confetti and really awesome sequins. Let me just shake it so you can see, get the whole effect. There you go. Yeah, it's just so pretty. I love it. There's a pocket you could tuck things in here. And then on this pocket here, which is made out of a craft envelope, I just added a little sunflower here. And again, that's one of the images I cut out from the cupcake liners. Inside, I've got a little booklet that I kind of stitched together to here with some of the coffee stained paper. And on the top, I've just added some leftover felt and one of the sequins, and that just fits perfectly in that little pocket there, which is kind of cute. Added one of the window decals on the back just for added fun. I've got a little pocket here, which I added one of the cupcake toppers to, and then a little tag tucked into that pocket there. In this cupcake liner pocket that I've created, I have another one of the tags that I made, and this tag is just out of leftover scraps from a craft envelope that I've stitched together, and it's got some more felt and one of those sequins on top, which I just think is adorable, and it fits perfectly in this little pocket really well. Just added a cupcake liner on the back there. I think those cupcake liners are so cute, and they actually are like kind of crinkly. I don't know. There's something about the noise that they make that just makes me happy. So that's the first signature. So you can tell it's like really chunky, but lovely. The next signature starts with this cream colored paper that I have these sequins stitched onto. On this side, I've got a little image cut out from a cupcake liner here. Little flap of half of the cupcake liner. And then in this craft envelope, I've made two pockets by stitching down the middle. And then I have some tags that I've created inside these pockets. So on this tag, I just stapled a little bit of that felt on top, have one of the acorns and some of the leaves. And I think that one looks super cute, and it just tucks in there. And the other one is a little different. I just took some of the cupcake liners, cut them up, and glued them down to the tag just for that textural element. And again, I added the felt on the top, and those just tuck right into those pockets super well, and I love the little felt peek outs on the end. I have a napkin here with some stitching on it, some paper that I've also burnt and stained. On this piece of paper, which was kind of plain, I decided to just cut and use half of the cupcake liner just to add like a little extra details and kind of make the page more interesting. So some of them I just kept the way they were, and I didn't really add anything, especially when I felt like the book was getting really big. So I kind of just left a lot of these, but I still think they're super cute just the way they are. Here I've made it a little tuck spot. Using one of the cork pieces, so you can see I've tucked a little tag back there, and I kind of let the string hang out because it kind of shows you that there's something back there that you can grab. It's kind of fun. And then here I've got this flip out with the cupcake liner, which is really fun. I've got a pocket here. I didn't add anything there, but I figured you could go back and add it later. On this page, I've got a little sequin shaker pocket with some of that really pretty burlap and gold thread. The other side of the napkin, the edge of a little pocket, which you could use, cupcake liner, then this envelope, and on this envelope I just added one of those cupcake toppers up there just for fun. On the back I have a little flip out, and I have some sequins there just for a little sparkle. On this tag, or on this page, I kept that part at the top the same, but I did add one of those acorns from the cupcake liner down there. The back is plain. So that is the second signature. So I'll just show you what that one looks like. There's the whole signature. It's a little less chunky than the first one, I think. Yeah, definitely. But it's still really fun and got lots of textural elements that I just love. Okay, and then this is the third and final signature. So here on the front of it, I've just got a couple sequins. When you flip the page, I have this little tuck spot, and I've just added one of these like business cards that I used stain for, and I just kind of have that tucked in there, and I figure you could use that for embellishing, or even like a photo mat if you wanted to. It's got these really gorgeous like hearts embossed on there, so that's kind of fun. On this side, I have a little bit of a cupcake liner, and then I added one of those cork pieces on the top of this manila envelope. On the other side, that manila envelope has been turned into a pocket for another one of the tags that I handmade out of the paper and some felts. And that just tucks in right there. And then this little flap flips up so you could add some journaling or something underneath there. Get a little more mileage. This paper, I just added one of the one of the cupcake liners because I felt like it needed something. Got a tag tucked into this little tiny pocket down here. I wanted to try to find some different ways to include some of the tags because I had a ton of them. So on this page, I just punched a hole in the top of the page, and I kind of just have the tag hanging there loose willy-nilly, but I feel like it kind of just creates a fun detail, and then the tag can just hang down wherever it wants to. On this page, I used the cupcake liner again, but I kind of cut out the middle and then scrunched it up to make almost like a little rosette or flower, and I added a couple of sequins in the middle, which is kind of a fun detail. In this pocket here, I've got 4 little tags tucked in there, and I figure that would be like such a cute little detail. I'm going to use this as a gratitude log, so like you could have like 4 things that I love right now, or 4 things I'm thankful for, and just write them on the little tags. And I like how they kind of look lined up like this. And I have some paper details, the other side of that, or a side of a cupcake liner. And then I've got a pocket here, like a fabric pocket, and in here I have a tag that I created, so I'll just pull those out. So I've got 2 different tags. They were both created out of the manila envelopes. So this first one, I've just got simple stitching around the edges and 2 big sequins down there, which is super cute. And on this tag, I've used a manila envelope again, but I have a whole line of sequins in those little ones, which is kind of fun. So I feel like these tags coordinate, they go well together, but they're not exactly the same, which is also kind of fun. And they tuck into that envelope baggie there, which is kind of a fun detail. At the other side of that cupcake liner, some flip out pages, a side corner tuck spot, which I just have a little card in. This flip out page. A couple other pages here. I've added another detail from the cupcake liners. And then this I love the way that this looks. It's another one of the sequin pockets that I've created. Added some burlap, leftover felt, and a tag. When you flip over the page, I've got one of those cupcake liners, a little bit of burlap, and some cork. I just love all the texture here. It's just so fun, and I love that this just has a little thing popping up. Then I have the other side of a cupcake liner, and then I've got this pocket here on this last page that's created using this window decal, and I just have a little burlap tag that I've created hanging out back there, which is kind of fun. And you flip that over, and that's the end of the third signature. So I'll just show you guys for a second. that's what the third signature looks like and how big it is. I think the third signature and the second signature are pretty much the same size, and then the first one is a lot bigger. Really should have shortened it, but that's okay. So that's what the insides look like. And then on this back page, which is covered with felt, I decided to create one last pocket using some of the burlap because I had a lot of it left. So I cut the burlap so it would fit, punched a hole out of the top of it, and created a little pocket so you can stick things or a letter or something in there. I added one of those cork pieces to the back so you could put like note or important or something like that. And then I topped that off with some sequins just for fun. So there you go. There you have the junk journal that I created using items only from the Dollar Tree or the dollar store because we don't have the Dollar Tree here. And it's about $15 or 15 items that I created or I used to create this. Just a couple of notes while I have you still. I mostly use things from the dollar store or almost exclusively. I did use a couple things from my stash, and that would be tools like scissors and punches and things like that. I also used glue, which came from my stash, and thread for stitching. But everything else came from the dollar store, including the covers and the burlap and the papers and everything, which is super fun. And I just love how chunky and gorgeous this is. And I can't wait to be filling it with things that I'm thankful for and grateful for, which I think is going to be like a really fun Thanksgiving kind of project for me this year, is to fill it with all the goodies of things that I am really thankful for. So you can tell that the album is really full, but I actually have a ton of stuff left over. So before I leave you, I thought I would just do like a quick kill-a-kit video kind of idea showing you what I have left. So here are the tags that I have left. I feel like I maybe used about a third of those. I hardly dented them. I tried to use them so many times, and you could probably see them all throughout the album, but there's a lot of those tags left. But that's okay because I can definitely use them for other projects. Up next, I have the cupcake toppers and cupcake liners. So I did try to use these, but there were so many of them. I think there must have been like 25 or 50 or something like that, but I wasn't able to use them all. So I still have those left over. And here are the cupcake liners, and I want to say maybe I have about 10 cupcake liners left. But as you can see, I definitely use cupcake liners throughout the entire album. I'm not sure where I would use 10 more cupcake liners, so I'm happy with what I've used, and I don't think I need to force myself to try to kill the kit. I still have a little bit of the scrapbook paper left. So I have these two pieces and this long strip of that solid colored scrapbook paper. And then from that little tiny 24 sheet paper pad that I got at the dollar store, I have, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 sheets left in the pack of 24, so I used about 2/3 of it. I have some of the papers that I stained still, and envelopes and things like that. Not a lot, so not enough to like make a whole other junk journal, but definitely some things that I could save and use in future junk journals, because this may be my first junk journal, but I had so much fun creating it, and I feel like I learned a lot of techniques and things that I can fix for next time, so I'll definitely be working on it, and I think I'll try and make another one. Maybe a Christmas junk journal, that would be fun. I have 2 of these manila envelopes or craft envelopes, I don't know what you call them. I think it was a pack of 6 or 8, so 2 is pretty good. I have a little bit of the felt left. There were, I think, 4 sheets of this, and this is all I have left, so that's good. The one thing that I don't think I necessarily utilized really well, and I probably bought too much of, was these. And these are the napkins. So I bought 2 different kinds because I kind of wanted 2 different kinds and I like the styles. So I bought these long ones and I bought these short ones, and I'm pretty sure I only used like 2 of each of them, so they didn't really get used very well. I think if I could go back in time, I probably would have only bought 1 of them, and I would have spent the other dollar or other money from the other item on buying a clasp or closure for the book. But that's okay. Live and learn. And it was a Dollar Tree challenge, so I didn't spend that much money because I literally just got 15 items, so it's all good. So a couple of things that I used up all of those window decals. I used up all of the cork pieces. I used up the cover pieces from that album, the wedding guest book album. I used up almost all of the scrapbook paper, like the solid colored pieces. I used up all of those, what do you call these? These little baggies, like the fabric bags. I also used up all of the window decals. So I feel like I did a really good job. Oh, and I used up all of the sequins. So all of the sequins made their way into the book. So I would say like probably 1/3 of the items I used up completely. The other 2/3 I used parts of, and I still have some leftovers, but I think I did a good job. And maybe I can make another junk journal utilizing some of these things. Slash, I might just save these for Thanksgiving dinner and just use them for what they're supposed to be for. Other than that, that's it. So I hope that you guys really enjoyed this junk journal video, sharing with you the junk journal that I created for I'm a Cool Mom's Dollar Tree Junk Journal Challenge. That's a tongue twister. And I hope that you guys really enjoyed it. I know I didn't show you everything in terms of how I made it and decorated it and stuff. So my suggestion is, if you are interested in that, check out the video. Check out the video that I'll have linked in the description by I'm a Cool Mom, where she walks you through the whole entire process for how to make a junk journal. I basically watched that video like 20 times in order to make this. And if you are interested in seeing more videos about junk journals, if you'd like me to show you some techniques, tips, or tutorials, let me know by leaving me a comment below. I had a lot of fun creating this, but I'm not sure if it's necessarily something you guys are interested in or not. So I know that I'll definitely be making more. So I'm wondering, and you guys could help me out by leaving me a comment, if I make another junk journal, would you like to see it? Do you want to just see it when it's done? Do you want me to walk you through the steps of how I create it? Just give me some ideas in the comment section so that I feel like better prepared for my next video, so that I can give you exactly what you're looking for. Other than that, I hope that you have a lovely day, that you are able to come up with lots of things that you're grateful for, so maybe you want your own gratitude log. And thanks for commenting, liking, and subscribing. I hope that you have a lovely day. Bye, guys!